Greetings everyone, my name is Flare Blitz and we returned back to our adventures of Our Wonderland, Act 3. While not quite as large as the one I bathed in yesterday, or bathed in, my apologies, this one is still extraordinarily ornate, and it's equipped with both a giant shower with rainfall showerhead and a monstrous claw-footed tub. Opposite those fineries are the vanity and toilet, which I partake myself of first, staring at the gold patterns on the wall as I release all the liquid I embedded the night prior. Once I wash up using the toiletries provided on the vanity, I head back out where I spot my clothes sitting on one of the chairs. They've been perfectly cleaned. Not a single hint of blood remains, which is something that would probably make the rabbits question at first as to how the blood got on there in the first place. And even the hole made by the scissors has been expertly sewn closed. I stare at them for a moment, then shrug and put them on. Admittedly, after everything that's happened, this piece of normal feels quite comforting. When I open the door to step out into the hallway, I'm greeted by a rabbit attendant. "Shall I take you to breakfast, sir?" he asks you with a bow. "Oh, sure, that sounds good, yeah." Another bow. Then we're on our way, through the corridors and down the grand staircase, past other attendants cleaning, dusting, and polishing the castle trimmings. "This way, sir." My attendant bows again once we reach a large set of double doors, then opens them to reveal a grand dining hall with a long table stretched across its center. The table is already piled high with food: eggs, toast, meats and cheese, bowls and bowls of fruit. My eyes practically bug out of my head as my stomach gives another unsightly growl. Goodness sakes, I was feeling hungry, but not this hungry. I'm guided to the far end of the table where I'm seated to the right of the grand throne and its head. I wonder if King Orlam is sitting there. I can eat any of this?" I asked hesitantly, already eyeing a steaming plate of scrambled eggs. "Of course, sir." Another bow. Then my attendant steps back and away from the table, leaving me to my feast. Despite his answer, I remain unsure. I sit for a moment longer, hands in my lap, and gaze perusing the table before finally reaching up with a little waggle of my fingers. The far door busts open. "Iggy, so good to see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed on this fine morn." Orlam waltzes in, arms stretched as though about to make some sort of proclamation. Behind him, a rabbit dressed in kitchen attire wheels in a large cart with more trays of food, their silver lids gleaming in the chandeliers. "I trust you slept well?" "I slept like a king." "Yeah, it was great. I slept great." "Come on, Iggy, have some confidence behind your words, man. I mean, you were very angry with Genzu, and now you're nervous around Orlam. He's your friend, for goodness sakes." I returned my hands to my lap. Orlam sidles over, hands clasped behind his back, and poop-eating grin practically engulfing his face. "Wonderful, wonderful, yes." He returns to his tut-tutting, taming my still errant curls and smoothing down the arms of my shirt. "I wanted to make sure you were well taken care of. Did you have a nice night?" I ask mostly because I don't know what else to say. Orlam laughs, bringing a hand to his chest. "Me? Oh, yes, I had an exhilarating evening, shall we say." The rabbit from earlier catches my eye. He's wheeling that great big cart around the other side of the table and headed in my direction. I glance up at Orlam, then back at the cart. "What's this? More food?" "It is indeed. You see, I've prepared a surprise for you this morning, Iggy. A special feast just for you, and it contains the finest meats in the land. I mean, it contains the finest pieces of Genzu you'll ever feast your eyes on." "Oh?" I watch as the rabbit lugs the largest tray up and off the cart, placing it down right in front of me. Then with a grand flourish of steam, he removes the silver lid and steps back. I'm met first with the most delicious of smells, wafting up and around me like a tempting trifecta of fat, grease, and charboiled perfection. Fat and grease? Then once the steam dispels, I see the meat itself, a giant ham perfectly cut and oozing juices into a puddle on the plate, Making food look good in a game can be quite hard at times, but this is really nice. I'll bring a hand up. Damn, that smells delicious. Oh. Or does that smell like Genzu? Ooh, don't you like it? I carved this one myself, you know. I wanted to make sure it was done perfectly. Ooh. He's shaking now, his voice hoarse and crackling with plevme, his face flushed with ecstasy. I made the cuts while he was still alive. Bloody hell, this is Genzu's fate? The last time we saw him, we were being dragged in? Well, not dragged in. I made the so it would be as fresh as possible, so I'd still be able to taste his fear. He lurches towards me, arm going around my shoulder and fingers pushing the bangs out of my eyes. I can feel his breath hot on my forehead. Yeah, this is a breakfast of nightmares, so I knew there was something about that cart that was being wheeled in that would have been different from the rest, otherwise it would have been there already. But I'm letting you try it first, Iggy. You get the first piece. I stare down at the plate, stare down at the sizzling fat, the steam curling up and away from the meaty folds. You'll join me, won't you, Iggy? Join me here in this paradise meant for the two of us. He pushed his face into my hair, and I could feel his smile press against my scalp. Then, soft as a whisper, let's make our own rules. Together. Do we eat? Do we eat? You know, maybe he's right. Maybe this place is for us. Our own wonderland, where no one can tell us that we're wrong, that we don't belong. Maybe we deserve this. My lips curl into a smile, and I pick up the fork off the table. Yes. This is our place, our own special place, and it's time I got to make the rules for once. And so, steam caressing my cheeks, I bring my fork towards the meat and begin to eat. Let our glorious feast begin. Things move quickly after that. Hey, we have our own ground. Hey, lovely. But people are wondering, well, bloody hell, how did he become his, I don't know, his second in command? But true enough to Orlam's word, I'm never forced into anything I don't want. I get to live how I choose, offering Orlam support and advice from behind the scenes, welcoming him back after his treks into the kingdom or long nights of entertaining guests, but otherwise doing whatever the hell I want. And as for the two of us, we spend our time strategizing. Ooh, war plans. Playing. Oh my no! Oh gosh, what the hell is all I'm doing in the background there? And sleeping. Oh dear, not the Orlam part, anything but the Orlam part. And I take care of him. And he takes care of me as well. Every step of the way. To be honest, it's... what the hell is this part here? This does not look so grand. It's exhilarating having so much power, to be able to enact something into law and watch it play out from our fortified sanctuary. To be able to do whatever I want without someone telling me to do something more productive or be this, be that, get out more, settle down. No expectations, nobody asking things of me, nobody wanting things from me. The days quickly blur together, days turning into weeks, weeks turning into months, the two of us ruling from our castle on top of a world. I'm not sure how long it's been by the time we decide to move forward with our expansion plans. Our first course of action is the nearby forest, long haunted by legends of a terrifying beast that's laid untouched. Neither Orlam nor his men go near it. But if we're going to have any hope of expanding to the unknown, we first need to be able to conquer those lands close to home. We set out together, the two of us on our first excursion, accompanied by a battalion of our finest guards to survey and stake the region. Into the forest we marched with the confidence of two mighty explorers eager to make the discovery of a lifetime. Oh, Hunar, deeper and deeper we go, our spirits high, our ambition unfaltering, through the brush, over sticks and rocks, to where the air grows cold and the trees coil and twist around us like a wooden cage. I can tell the guards around us are growing restless, fidgety. They glance from side to side at every snapping branch or hooting owl. Orlam, however, is unfazed. Orlam is out in the front lines as well. What a king! He walks out ahead, hand to his chin and scrutinizing every rock and pebble. These trees will need to be cleared out, but that's nothing a few dozen of my men can't accomplish in a week or two. And we can use the wood to build a resort of sorts. A hot spring, perhaps. Yes, this could certainly breed in some tourism. God knows this kingdom could use more destination spots. Yeah, because just having the castle is not good, okay? Not good enough. I can hear him mumbling to himself. Sir, up ahead. The two of us glanced forward to see the trees open up, revealing a small cabin at the center of the clearing. Orlam's hands go to his hips. What's that doing there? I didn't know there was anyone living here. He scowls. They'll need to leave at once. This land, all of it. It will all need to be cleared. Sir, yes, sir. Something twitches in the back of my brain, like a little bug trying to crawl its way out of a deep, dark hole that's been cemented over. I look from Orlam to the cabin, then back to Orlam. I say nothing. Come, Iggy. Let's go see who's rudely made themselves at home on our land without our permission. He starts forward, shoes crunching noisily as he storms across the clearing. I was going to say that I don't think Bucks is going to be that warming of our welcome here. I dash after him, falling into step just as he arrives at the door to the cabin. He gives it a quick set of raps, foot tapping an angry rhythm in the dirt. Hello? Whoever lives here needs to come out at once, by order of the king. But it's silent. No sound except for a haunting trail of a bird flying over. I demand you to come out at once, Orlam squawks. Maybe they're not home. I can see Orlam's body curl ever so slightly forward. He's getting mad. Then we shall raise the house to the ground. To think someone would have the gall to build a home out here. They don't even have a building permit. And what about all the taxes they owe? Well, I think they were here before you inhabited the kingdom. He reaches forward to knock again, except this time he must get a better idea because he tries to pull a knob instead. It clicks easily, and he pushes the door open a crack at first, before throwing it open the rest of the way. Whoever lives here needs to come out right this moment, or I'll send in my guards. That took a bit of a pause. Still nothing. I peek inside at the interior of the cabin. It's small but cozy, sporting not much more than a bed, table and stove. What are you doing? The sudden voice makes both of us jump, and we turn to see someone standing a few yards off, seemingly returning to the cabin with an armful of chopped wood. I stare for a second. The woman seems so Bucks-like. Then it hits me. Bucks! I croak, taking a step back. Well, this is unexpected. Orlam's look of disdain stays constant. What are you doing in my house? Her eyes narrow, looking back and forth between us and the cabin. The glint in her eyes makes my stomach twist, and that tingling pain I'd felt earlier begins pulsing again in the back of my brain. Something's not right. Something's not right. I grab Orlam's wrist. Orlam, maybe we should go. But Orlam flicks it away. Go? I'm not going until we've gotten some answers. And we've gotten this illegal tenant off of our land. Buck just stares. There's something wrong with the way she's looking at us. Don't you think? There's bags under her eyes and she's angry. Eyes dark, not even blinking, like if we're her next prey. She drops a pile of wood to the ground, and I don't miss the way her biceps ripple with the movement of her arms. This is my land, she says simply, but the tone of her voice sends goosebumps up and down my arms. And you're trespassing. The keeper of the woods? Then the legends were true after all. The hushed whispers of the guards behind us catch my attention, and by the time I glance back, they're already starting to lean backwards. What are you idiots talking about? Orlam snaps. This is nothing but they've apparently had enough. They turn tail and begin running back across the clearing before Orlam can even finish chastising them, leaving the two of us alone with Bucks. My heart drops to my gut, into my gut. Sorry, Orlam, please. I reach again for his wrist, but he goes stopping towards Bucks before I can grab him. One hand raised into a comical show of scolding. Well, I don't care who you are. You're in my kingdom, and those in my kingdom have to follow my rules. Now, are you going to vacate these premises, or am I going to have to... Her hand on his throat cuts off the last of his threat. It engulfs his entire neck, fingers digging into the skin, squeezing that word. He lets out a squeak that's half surprise, half pain, his crown tumbling to the grass. Then her other hand joins, gripping his neck from the other side and popping his chin up above her thumbs at an unnatural slant. Yeah, that's bad, because I think Bucks is the tallest out of all of us. I can only stare, eyes growing larger and larger as she lifts him off the ground. Orlam's hands fly to his neck, grabbing at her hands, scratching and clawing and tugging, but his efforts prove futile, and he can only gasp and choke as his legs kick out fruitlessly beneath him. This is my land, Buck says again, right into his face, and you're trespassing. Bucks? His voice squeaks. His face is turning red, purple. Yeah, this is bad. And come on, Iggy, do something for your man here. Then she begins to shake him in big heaving jolts that send his head flopping back and forth and his body whipping like a snake's tail. Shut up, shut up, shut up! Oh gosh, this is going to be really frightening. Orlam's panic squawks cut in and out with each convulsion. I can't even think with you making all that goddamn noise. I could see the veins popping out in Bucks's hands, her arms trembling, her eyes wide. Why can't you give me a moment of goddamn peace? There's a horrifying snap, yep, and I feel the blood drain from my face. Orlam. Yeah, Orlam's dead. Yep, his body's gone limp. Orlam's gone quiet, his body limp. But still she keeps shaking. Still she keeps wrenching his body back and forth as her hands dig into his throat tighter and tighter. So tight I can see blood bubbling up beneath her fingers. So tight I swear she's going to squeeze his head right off his body. Yeah, that's bad. His body flops like limp spaghetti, his eyes bulging, foam dribbling up between his lips, and blood. It's at this moment that I turn and run. I don't even consciously think about it, my body just does it. Running, racing, sprinting back across the clearing, back into the forest. I have to get away, have to escape before she sets her sights on me. The trees whip at my face, the brush scratching and grabbing at my ankles. but I don't let it slow me. Even as my heart threatens to beat straight out of my chest, I keep pressing forward, sheer panic controlling my arms and legs. I run until I burst out of the trees and find myself at a river. I lurch for it, gasping and wheezing, stumbling towards the bank. I fall to my knees, not even caring about the rocks and pebbles cracking against bone, about the water seeping through until my pants sustain the fabric. Through my pants, sorry. I kneel there a moment, just catching my breath. The taste of copper in my tongue as my lungs struggle for oxygen. My head feels so heavy. That face again. So heavy my skull pulses with the weight. I reach up and grab my crown, throwing it to the ground beside me. Then do the same with my cape, wrestling free of it with a frustrated grunt and heaving it onto the grass. Bloody hell. Ah! I bring my hands to my face, body curling inward. I can feel a salty twinge just beneath my eyes, but the tears don't come. Won't come. All I get instead is a dull ache in my chest as a throbbing drum pounds away in my head. I lean forward, gazing down into the water, into the river. I can see myself, see my face, my eyes. Your eyes are red, twisted. Why do I look so twisted? Almost like I'm being played on a faulty television. I bring a hand up to my cheek. It doesn't even look like me. That's not me. That can't be me. The real me would never... Look what you've become. My breath hitches with a start, and I sit back looking left and right. The voice had seemed to come from right next to me, hissing right in my ear. You're a monster. I jerk again. This time it seemed to come from the opposite direction. I can feel my heart start to pick up again. Is that the voice of the forest? No, I'm not. I'm not. It's your fault they're dead. You killed them all. Excuse me, I was the one that... I wasn't the one that throttled Orlam's neck wrenched clean off. I bring my hands to my head, fingers clenching in my hair. You murdered Gidget. No, you ate Genzu. Look, just because I ate him didn't mean I initially murdered him, okay? No. Watched countless people be tortured like Orlam. Killed. Eaten. All while you sat back and smiled because you wanted the rest of the world to do everything while you did not want any expectations out of other people for you. It wasn't me. I didn't. And now the one person you care about in this entire godforsaken world, the one person who actually cared about you. You couldn't help him, couldn't save him. You didn't even lift a finger, just stood there and watched him be killed. Then ran like a coward with your tail tucked between your legs. I pressed my head tighter. I could feel my heart beating against the inside of my chest. He needed you, and you abandoned him, like you always do. There's nothing I could have done. I shake my head, harder and harder, trying to make it stop. You abandon everyone, you selfish swine. Something snaps inside of me. Ah! And I scream. It starts as a low, throaty groan in the base of my throat before tumbling out and vibrating inside my skull. You were never there for them. I scream and I scream and I scream. Never there when they needed you. Pull and tear at my hair. Never thinking about anything except yourself. Shut up. The last syllable seems to ring out across the clearing, bouncing off the rocks and trees. I crumple, my body shaking, stomach twisting, shame and guilt choking my heart. For a second the voice seems to stop, the world strangely silent around me. Then I lean forward, looking back down into the water. You are definitely what they would call different. No. I shake my head. No. But me in the water is smiling. Accept it, Iggy. You're nothing but a sad, selfish little man. Iggy. That voice. That goddamn voice. I want to snuff it out. Want to rip and tear it apart. It's haunting me. Feeding on me. What do you want, Iggy? I want my friend back, Orlam. What do I want? I want that voice to go away. I want it to stop taunting me. It's not true. None of it's true. That wasn't me. That couldn't have been me. It was all a lie. All of it. What do you wish for more than anything else in the whole world? I wish for that voice to go away. It won't stop. It just keeps going and going. It's driving me insane. Make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. My vocal cords crack with the words, and for a second I don't hear anything else. Nothing except my voice echoing, echoing, echoing. Then the words fade. And I look back down into the water and there's no reflection. That's when I see it. A bubble rising to the surface, followed by another, and another. It sizzles. A thin layer of foam forming across the top. I reach a finger towards it, then whip it back at the flare of pain that seizes my fingertip. I blink, just looking at it for a moment, then feel the realization rise to the surface of my brain. It's the only way to make all the bad thoughts go away. That's right. That's how to make the voice go away. Why didn't I think of that sooner? I smile, then reach my hands down into the water, cupping it in my palms. The pain is immediate, like daggers stabbing into my skin. Up and down my... oh gosh, it's scalding hot. Up and down my fingers and palms. But I ignore it. Ignore the fizzing steam curling up and away from my hands. Ignore the way my palms begin to turn red. Ignore the crackle and bubble of pops as my skin begins to cook. I ignore all of it and bring the water to my lips. Yes, that's right. I need to wash myself clean, and so I drink it. Pain flares up in my throat, coating my mouth and lips, like hot pokers jabbing at my windpipe, and instinctively I jerk forward with a cough. On fire. My insides are on fire. I choke, gag. It's coming back up, but I reach for more and more handfuls. My hands are turning a deep red now. I can smell them burning and charring. Fizzling steam curling upwards as the skin sizzles and pops. But I don't stop. I bring more and more of it to my tongue. My shoulders heave and I puke. It sends the acid back up and through my throat. Burning, burning, burning the entire way. And I rinse it down with more. Up and down, up and down. My mouth is on fire, my tongue is on fire, my throat is on fire, my body is on fire. More heaves. Bits and pieces of my stomach and throat are coming up with the gunk now. And the colour in the river is worrying. A horrible greenish brown. My head starts to swim. Vision fading in and out. Everything steaming, hissing and fizzling around me. Inside me. Eating me from the inside. It's searing all the way through my throat. But I'm clean. Goodness sakes, I don't know what you think of clean as, but this certainly is not it. And that voice. The voice is finally gone. No longer taunting me. But can you even hear yourself? For one glorious moment, everything is calm. Quiet. Then I lose all strength in my arms and collapse into the water. Yeah, that's what you would call... yeah, that's bad. So we were not murdered by... bucks. We was murdered by ourselves, literally. The river turns red around me, flowing away, away, away. And taking the bad thoughts with it. If you think you're cleansing yourself, by doing this. This is not the answer. Our Wonderland. A place where all of our dreams can come true. Our Wonderland Arc 3. Written and developed by Carrot Patch Games. So, because of the relationship between Iggy and Genzu within this particular arc, this was probably the arc that made me feel the most uncomfortable out of all of them when it comes to the different characters throughout the game. Like, when it came to what I said in my previous video about the perspective of the protagonist, I think our view of Genzu would be far different if Orlam was the protagonist and Iggy was one of these characters which are wandering around in the Wonderland that we don't get the perspective of. So it was incredibly tragic about the tale of Genzu, about how he was cut up into bits of meat for us to eat. Cannibalism in its own way. So the last time we saw Genzu, we both drifted off in different directions into the castle. One of us was treated well, and the other, well, was treated well done. And it went, oh, poor Genzu there. I felt bad for my boy. That face of his was just so damning for me, honestly, because he really cared for us. He really cares for Iggy, and now we've betrayed him in this act. I'm hoping that's the last time we see that kind of thing, because I'm honestly so ablaze by it all. But anyways, looking at all these sketches of Orlam and Iggy, here they are, welcoming their new renowned duo, making themselves stand tall, higher than above the world itself, only for the keeper of the forest to ruin everything. And you, Iggy, did jack poop to rectify your wrongdoings. I'm sorry, Orlam. I'll find another way to save you. Or perhaps there is no way of being able to save these characters. Save? Save who? My body furrow in my half-asleep days. And why did I feel so, the dull scratch of Mrs. Darwish's trash being jerked me the rest of the way from my sleep? And I sit straight up in bed with a half-swallowed gasp. I bring my hand to my face, my mouth, my throat. Why am I in such a cold sweat? My heart feels like it's going 90 miles an hour in my chest. I don't even wait for Mrs. Dornish to drop her bottle, instead rolling out of bed and stumbling towards the bathroom. I go immediately into the mirror, looking at myself, studying myself. I bring my hand back to my throat, almost as though expecting to see some sort of abomination. I don't even know, to be honest, but there's nothing. Just my pasty-ass neck with a little mole above my collarbone. And the rest of my face looks normal too. Well, besides the 2-ton boulders beneath my eyes. 2-ton bags. For some reason, I look like I haven't slept in weeks. I bring a palm to my forehead, wiping at the clammy beads of sweat. Well, maybe if you remove those brown smudges off your mirror, then you wouldn't like such a zombie. So you wouldn't look like such a zombie. Then simply stand there, leaning against the sink until the nagging sense of disconnection finally begins to recede. Finally, I drag myself out of the bathroom, blinking at the sun drawing patterns across my apartment floor. Why does it feel like I haven't been here in a long time? Weeks? Months even? Like coming back home after a long vacation. Chewing the inside of my cheek. Then wander towards the kitchen to start the coffee pot. Maybe some caffeine will dissipate the aura of unease clouding my heart. Once the pot is brewing, I put out my box of chocolate rice snappers and fill up a bowl. But when I raise my spoon to begin my feast, my appetite suddenly recedes. I stare down at the quickly moistening nabs of puffed rice. The sight makes me nauseous. The thought of eating anything is somehow repulsive. With a gurgle in my stomach, I pour the bowl out into the sink, watching the slimy dregs swirl down the drain. Then why did you make that breakfast in the first place? I carved this one myself, you know. The words puke and claw at the back of my brain like a spider uncurling itself from a hole. I wanted to make sure it was done perfectly. My breath hitches. I shake my head, bite down on my tongue, willing away the feeling of dread crawling up my midsection. Finally, I snap on the faucet to rinse everything away, out of sight and out of mind. I rub at my face and pour myself a cup of coffee, then head for my desk. I stand there a moment, just looking at it, looking at my keyboard, looking at my monitor. I have to work. I have deadlines, projects due, but I just don't care. I walk over to my couch instead and slump down on the cushions. I'll work eventually. Maybe I'll just take a little time first to clear my head. I take a sip of my coffee, then another. I stare at the black screen of my television, my shelves of games and DVDs, and think, what the bloody hell do I do now? My ceramic pumpkin candle holders that I never put away after last fall. I take a third sip. What am I waiting for? I don't know, but I'm definitely waiting for something. My mind drifts to Orlam for some reason. I hope he's okay. I catch myself. Why wouldn't he be okay? I just saw him yesterday, didn't I? And he was fine. Completely fine. The facade of somebody means that on the outside they look fine, but on the inside they might be cracking. Just fine. So I give myself a shake, snap myself out of it, and go back to my staring. I don't know why, but I just can't seem to make myself care about anything. Even the disappearance of Bucks? At that moment, my phone goes off. The sudden noise about gives me a heart attack, and in my jolt of surprise, I send about half my cup of coffee up onto my shirt as I do. God bloody... I manage to answer it away, trying to rub it out of the fabric as I balance the phone between my shoulder and ear. Hey, Huna, what's up? I ask without even confirming the name of a caller ID. But the sound that comes through the receiver doesn't match my jovial tone. Sobs, hurried sniffles, a cough. He's crying. Iggy! Oh, sheesh. Right, this is... I bring a hand to my forehead, massaging the deepening creases. It's Bucks, isn't it? My insides start to twist. This triggers another cough from Huna. How did you... But then he must decide it doesn't matter because he continues all the same. I don't know what to do, Iggy. She's gone. Gone. I hear his voice crack through the receiver. She took Sadai. There's no sign of him anywhere. I've called and I called and I called. I shake my head, trying to collect my thoughts. I'm having trouble figuring out what to say. Did she, say anything? Last night? Yuno's voice shakes. Nothing. We had a bit of an argument, but by the time we went to sleep, things were mostly fine again. And I didn't wake up once. Sadai, she never cried. He pauses and I can hear him swallow. I have a really bad feeling, Iggy. Something's not right. Something's happened. I run a hand through my hair. You feel that way because you're nervous and scared, but I'm sure things are fine. But even I'm not convinced by my words. I feel sick. Maybe something came up. Maybe, her parents called or something. And there was some kind of emergency. I hear Huna sniff through the phone. It's been hours now. I don't know what to do. I rub at my face, my eyes, trying to stay focused on Huna. What do I say? What can I say? I'm sorry, Huna. I really don't know what else to do. I'll keep calling her, though. If we all keep trying, I'm sure one of us will finally get through. I'm sure. I cringe but continue. Everything's fine. The line is quiet for a moment. Then, soft as a whisper. Okay. He sounds so despondent. I don't blame him. Keep me updated. Okay? Sure. The line goes dead. I bring my hand down with a sigh, staring down at a brightly lit display on my phone. I could have handled that better. You could have, but you didn't. But somehow, I can't help but feel that it wouldn't have mattered. As the quiet returns, so does my feeling of disconnection. It gnaws at the inside of like a rat trying to escape. Oh, at my inside, sorry. All of a sudden, I just really need to hear someone's voice. And not only that, I can try again. Try again? Try what again? I start scrolling through my contacts. Yeah, maybe I could call someone. But who? It's not like I've got a lot of choices. My thumb paused over Orlam's name. A place for us where we get to make the rules. My hand is quivering, to the point that I've had to bring my other hand to steady my phone. No. I have to find a different way. Someone else. Someone I haven't tried yet. Call Gidget. Are you sure about that? I scroll down to Gidget's name in the list, but I can't seem to bring myself to tap it. All I can see in my mind is the back of her head, her blonde hair swashing as she storms away from me. I can never seem to say the right thing with her, which is a shame, really. We used to be such good friends. I chew on the inside of my lip as the white font of her name on the screen burns its way into my retainers. What if she's still upset? What if she doesn't even want to talk to me? Maybe I just end up making things worse. Look, man, the only thing you can do right now is try. Try and make an amends, okay? And yet, something tells me things have already gotten worse. Much worse. Multiple times. The back of my neck tingles, almost as though someone is running their fingers up my skin, and already clammy beads of sweat are forming along my hairline. I shake my head. No, not again. I've got to call her. I've got to try something. Anything. And I'm running out of options at this point. I take a deep breath, then press my thumb pad against the screen. The phone lights up, and I bring it to my ear. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings. I furrow my brows as I wait, and am just about to give up when the line abruptly connects. Iggy? Gidget's voice crackles through the receiver. She sounds confused. That makes 2 of us, I suppose. Hey, what do I say? I don't know. What am I even doing? I swallow. How are you? Then grimace. I sound like an idiot. There's a pause. In my mind, I can see her do that little twitch of her eyebrow that she always does when she's searching for a response. I'm fine. I guess I'm just surprised to hear from you. You, never call me. I scratch at the spot of my forehead. She has a point. I never call, well, anyone. I mean, I've got a log of contacts, but they've only called me and I've never called them. I just, after last night, you know, I felt a little bad, and you left in such a hurry. Wanted to make sure things were, alright? I hear other voices in the receiver clatter in the background. I'm fine. Then, it's not your fault. I was just... Her voice trails off, leaving a long silence in its wake. Finally. Anyway, don't worry about that. I'm doing better today. Got some sleep, just trying to distract myself. I see. There's another clutter. I twist my brows. Where are you anyway? Oh, I'm at the little cafe downtown. The one we always went to in high school, remember? Across from the pet salon. Spent the night at my parents' since I needed to pick up some stuff from the house anyway. But I'm heading back up to Dukan this afternoon. Oh, you're still in town? Yeah? Why? Why indeed? Why would I care? I never cared before, but now it feels like every nerve in my body is tingling. This is your one opportunity, man, to make things right. Like I need to. Want me to join you? I blurt out before I even realize what I'm saying. The line goes quiet. What's her expression now, I wonder? Confusion? Annoyance? But when she finally responds, her voice is soft and gentle, letting out the tiniest of shudders. I'd like that very much. And alas, we're going to the cafe downtown. Arc 4. Oh yeah. But I feel like this is not the best point to start this arc, considering we've always started an arc at the very beginning of an episode. So what we're going to be doing is seeing the worst outcome ever, I imagine. Don't eat. No. No, this is. Suddenly everything goes rushing back through my head like a high-speed train. The luxurious room, the balcony, the ball, the bath and the pampering. I let myself go too far. I let things go too far. This wasn't supposed to happen. I bring a hand to my mouth. Already I can feel pinpricks of tears in the corner of my eyes. I'm shaking. Vision warping. Walls undilating around me. Genzoui. I can still see him in my mind. The last time we looked at each other last night in the hall. Back on the boat during our fight. This is all my fault. I've got to do something. I've got to stop this. I reach forward towards the cutlery on the table. Curl my fingers around the handle of the knife. I can barely breathe now. Can barely see. I focus on the cool metal. Grip it tighter and tighter. Then whip around and stab it straight into Orlam's gut. He lets out a strangled noise of surprise, shudders, steps backwards. His eyes are bugging out of his head. Another backward stumble. He looks from me to the knife, then back to me. Blinks. It's at that moment that the guards notice what happened, and in less than a second they're on me. They yank me out of a chair, throwing me to my knees and fingers digging into my arms so tight I gasp. Across from me, another set of rabbits flies towards Orlam. They look like they want to grab him, hands extended, but ultimately remain a few feet back as he stands there trembling. Orlam's gaze goes back to the knife. He wraps his hands around it, tugs it out. Ooh, that looks a little messy. The front of his shirt is red now, a glistening pool forming across his belly. He stares at the knife as though he's never seen something like it in his life. Then smiles, laughs. Impish grin taking over his entire face. I thought you'd be different, Iggy. He drops the knife to the floor with a clutter. Then his hand goes to his belly, blood guggling up around his fingers. I thought for sure you'd be there for me. He sticks his fingers into the hole with a squash, and when he pulls them back out, stringy tendrils of blood skitch through the air. You wouldn't abandon me. He licks his fingers, drags the bloody clots across his chin. His eyes aren't focused, staring at me but not at me, seeing something else entirely. He laughs again, his shoulders heaving with it. But it turns out you're just like everyone else. Orlam, please stop this. I choke, not even realizing, but tears and snot are flowing freely down my face. Orlam lurches forward, his neck twisting unnaturally. Oh, dearie me. Stop this. Stop what? He points the tips of his bloody fingers to his temples and jerks them as though pulling the trigger of a gun. His eyes have gone dark, pupils like quivering pinpricks on orbs of bulging white, and his smile stretches for miles, forming a delightful moon-shaped curve that pulls and strains at the skin. You wish I would have offed myself too, don't you? Yeah, all these years, you would have loved to see my brains all over the floor. No, Orlam, I would never. I shake my head with a blasphemy cough. Shush, it's okay. Another forward lurch. This one simsing down in front of me, his kneecaps clacking against the floor. He brings his bloody fingers to my lips as though trying to shush me. It's fine now. I don't care anymore. He slithers up onto my lap, the weight sending sharp twinges of pain up through my arms where the rabbits keep firm of their grip. Because I don't need any of you anymore. Because I have my own kingdom. I laugh. His lips tremble with it. His hand goes back to his stomach, fingers digging and scrounging inside the fleshy hole. He scoops another slimy clot of blood out, letting the thick globs of it ooze between his fingers. Then he mashed it against my forehead, tracing his fingertips down my face, across my cheeks. I have a new family now. New friends to take care of me. Ones that would never abandon me. Another snicker. Now his fingers slide between my lips, and I can taste his blood sharp and coppery in my tongue. Deeper and deeper, down the back of my throat. So deep it makes me gag. Tears spring to my eyes, because I won't let them. Then he grabs a chunk of my hair in his other hand and wrenches it backwards. My breath hitches from the flash of pain. Dots dancing across my vision. He slides his fingers back out of my mouth, across my chin, leaving a trail of saliva and blood that oozes down my neck. I can feel his hand shaking, his body quivering. But don't worry, I won't forget the brief moments of kindness you've shown me. He runs his tongue up a slimy red trail, presses his nose and mouth into my neck, just beneath my ear, smiling, tasting, breathing me in with a euphorical smile. I'll cook you nice and slow so you can enjoy it too, my dear friend. Game over. Yeah, that is what you'd call a game over. A rather well done ending. Unfortunately, you were cooked slowly. So I mistook my words there. Cooked. You are cooked slowly. Well, I think the fact that we're cooked is the unfortunately part. Very slowly. But there was 1 second when you did actually enjoy it. The second when you finally blacked out. When the pain went. Would you like to restart from before your most recent choice or return to the main menu? I'd like to return to the main menu, please. Where we are presented with Gidget. Hey! So we finally have ourselves Arc 4 and definitely what is the arc that focuses on possibly the most heinous of all the characters aside Bugs. I think as we go up the ladder, the characters that we cover as the focal point are the, we'd call the most heinous of them. So we're missing 2 CGs in Arc 1. I think that mainly has to do, actually we counter that in Arc 2, I think. They're due to choices that we made and that the fact that we didn't die at certain stages of the game. Like this one here as well, we made another choice here, and then along that. So the ending would more likely have all of the CGs because of the fact that we completed them. So here in Arc 2, we made a choice where it prevented us from dying. And down here, oh, we only made 1 incorrect choice. So discovering the ends of the game is very important if you're looking to uncover all of the CGs. Arc 3... so we made a choice here that was successful, and obviously here we made a choice here so that, well, Orlam would kill us at some point. Yeah, here we go. So this was a bad choice here. Nice one here. And then, oh, that was a good choice actually. That's a choice that enabled us to continue forward. So Arc 4. And then after that, oh, this has got quite a lot of CGs actually. And then Arc 5, which only has half of on this particular download of this game because Arc 5 is still left to be fully developed at this point in time of the time of this recording and upload. Yeah, what a cheeky grin that is. Oh dear, you would eat Genzu, wouldn't ya? There's that one there. What's this one? Arc... Wait a minute, why is that one in Arc 3? Oh, because they were very, very, very brief flashbacks. The ones that I did not even really acknowledge, so... Obviously, Genzu was cut up from here, murdered and all that lot. Bloody hell. And, yeah, that's Genzu. That right there is Genzu. Crikey. You are some maniac, Orlam, I'm not gonna lie. And this is obviously... Well, it looks like ham, but it's not ham. It's human flesh. Crikey. So yeah, this episode is going to be a bit shorter than the others so far because we've completed Arc 3 now. Like, we could go back and see, like, the different things that we made wrong in order to not pursue the game so we unlock all of the CGs, but I'm not after that perfect completionist sort of thing. But I think I try and remember what choices we made and then go back from there at another given date and time. So yeah, our fate with Gidget this time around was a bit better. We didn't die. We were not performed an attempted operation on. This one's hilarious to me. It's just the rabbits picking on us. And then we are the ones that become, well, King Orlam's right-hand man. Like, what a frightening arc this was for me. Because when it came to, well, when it comes down to Iggy and Genzu, we've always seen him portrayed mostly in a positive light because of the factor that we've always been with him alongside him all this time. I know it didn't make any sense, but we were always there with him at any given point in time in these arcs. Like, whichever choice we made, we was with Genzu. Whichever path we went through, we were always with Genzu. So no matter what happened, Genzu and Iggy have been through thick and thin, but I feel like in Arc 3, those two have really detached. Like, this one for me is one that really makes my innards sad, honestly. Like, just seeing him so distraught, so defeated in a way. Like, Genzu didn't want any of that, but yet Iggy thought that he wanted Genzu to have expectations of Iggy. And that's a realization there. Crikey. Like, honestly, just, which one was it? This one here, when they're both been through a lot together and they're there for each other. Now sleeping on Genzu, and now Genzu's sleeping as well. Iggy there. Like those are the times that are more comforting for me. Aww. Like, mainly the hugging as well, which I find most comforting. Just being there for a friend in need. Not having any expectations when it comes to, like, expecting people to do stuff and things like that. Another hug there. This is when Iggy's eyes were seared by Gidget in Arc 2. Like, this is just a brief recap. Recap so far on the different things that we encountered so far. Here's those two there. Obviously, Orlam being a prick towards Iggy because it irks up Gidget. So Genzu, I mean. So yeah, all of that good stuff. And obviously this as well. Genzu obviously was very inhuman at that point in time. And harnessed some inhuman powers in order to deal with all that. Genzu getting his head chopped off there, I think it was. No, it wasn't head. No, it landed down on him, wasn't it? No, it landed in his stomach, wasn't it? Damn it. Bloody hell. No, that was one of those with beheadment. Oh, crikey. This is probably one of the darkest games I've ever played. But in a way, I'm very glad of it. Because it really shows a much deeper nature of what people are capable of in their most vulnerable situations. Like, there's no point in trying to put up a facade when your life is at stake. Like, you can't joke around with that kind of thing because you're literally on the brink of death, and at all times you got to think about what's best for you and for those who actually care about you. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Arc 3 of Our Wonderland, and okay, that's a bit of a bug there. That's not meant to be a thing. That should not be on the screen there. I hope that is not a thing that keeps happening. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all in the next time of Arc 4 of Our Wonderland, where we encounter the strange warpness of Gidget. Thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves.